classes for middle and high school students. We also have the only board-certified sports PT in Rapid City. At our brand new facility, Physio is ready to help you perform at your best. One-on-one physical therapy, athlete development, and sports rehab, all at one place. Get started at bhphysio.com.
City driving might feel routine, but it's tough on your car. All those quick starts, hard stops, endless red lights, and long idle times. They wear things down fast. Brakes, fluids, engine components, they all take a beating. That's where Al's D&I Repair in Rapid City comes in. We handle the maintenance that keeps your vehicle ready for whatever the city throws at it. Al's D&I, fixing it right since 77. Check in at Al's D&I on Sturgis Road and online at alsdniautorepair.com.
October is Renewal by Anderson's United Against Cancer campaign, and all of us at Renewal urge you to get your home tested for radon now. When Renewal's owner offered to pay for radon testing and mitigation if radon was found in our homes, several Renewal by Anderson team members found dangerously high levels of radon in their homes. This colorless, odorless gas is a killer. After smoking, radon is the #1 cause of lung cancer. The EPA estimates that radon causes 21,000 lung cancer deaths each year. Radon may also be linked to breast and other cancers, Parkinson's, dementia. Testing for radon is simple. Home tests cost under $20. Professional testing may be a couple of $100, and if you have radon, it's easy to get rid of with a relatively inexpensive system that blows that radon out of a vent. From all of us at your local Renewal by Anderson, please invest in your family's safety today. Get a radon test today. There could be an invisible killer in your home right now.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
Placed on injured reserve today as the team says that Wentz will undergo season-ending surgery on his left shoulder. The NFL Network says that Wentz hurt the shoulder during their Week 5 game in London against the Browns, where he suffered a dislocated shoulder, tore his labrum, and also fractured the socket in the shoulder. Carson Wentz done for the season. Panthers quarterback Brice Young has a chance to play in Week 9 against Green Bay. Head coach Dave Canales says that Young has a chance to practice on Wednesday, but right now they're considering him day-to-day. Bengals quarterback Joe Flacco day-to-day with a shoulder injury. Tonight, Commanders and Chiefs wrap up Week 8 at 8:15 Eastern Time. Giants running back Cam Scatterbu had successful surgery on his dislocated right ankle, that is, and has been released from the hospital. Game 3 of the World Series tonight from L.A. Blue Jays and Dodgers. Series tied up at 1 apiece. Coverage starts at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. I'm Dan Byer.
It's time for South Dakota's Sports Talk Show. This is the Nate Brown Show, featuring live callers, great interviews, and thought-provoking sports talk. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
Good Monday afternoon, ready to go on the Nate Brown Show. How are you? Hope you're doing good. Hope you had a solid weekend. It's always a great day in South Dakota. Welcome in. South Dakota Sports Talk Show back and ready. We are live on Fox Sports Radio across the state. The Nate Brown Show ready to go on a Reaction Monday. Let's get going. We are streaming live on X right now at Nate Brown Show. Follow us, watch the show live. If you can't catch us all the time on Fox Sports Radio, that's our #1 spot, right? Still is a radio program, yes. So catch us there. But X, we've got the stream on your phone at Nate Brown Show. Watch us live there. YouTube channel is up right now, The Nate Brown Show. Subscribe on YouTube. You've got us every day. Live and archive shows there. And also on Midwest Sports Plus, the high school sports app across the state, covering high school football. Really well done. And this show streaming live on Midwest Sports Plus right now. If you don't have the new high school sports app, check it out. Good stuff. Speaking of high school sports, a lot to cover tonight. We're going to go high school, college, to the pros. We got a Reaction Monday with our guest host, Rob Keighron. He's in. Yeah, Rob Keighron, man. We're doing double duty now with Rob. National radio host, really good. Rob Keighron's in tonight. Second hour coming up, a Reaction Monday with Rob. That's on tap. Before we get there, let's put in some work. Some great guests tonight on the Nate Brown Show. Let's go to Jason Andera. Every Monday he's been on. We had some playoff action this past week. 9-man 11B. Any surprises? A couple. Just a couple. There's hardly any upsets. I think, what do we have? 3 lower-seeded teams win. That's it, across the whole board. So it's that type of deal in the first round. You don't see a lot of upsets. So we'll get into that and what's to come here in some really interesting first-round matchups from 11 AA and maybe even a AAA look. Jason Andera is coming up, SDPB Sports, high school sports analyst. Also, it is that time of year. Do you know what time it is? It is college basketball time. I know it's late October. We're not to Halloween. It's coming up. But you know what's coming up, right? Field of 68 opening marathon, Pentagon, a week from today. This place is going to be popping. The Pentagon has 3 games, really good, and one of them is the Jacks. They're the late game, the headliner, and their head men's basketball coach is Bryan Petersen. He'll join me live tonight from Brookings as he previews the opener a week from today at the Pentagon in Sioux Falls. Bryan Petersen coming up for the Jacks, and John Brice is on tonight. So many things happening across the country in college football. We want John tonight, national college football writer for Football Scoop. He's on tap. If you want in on tonight's program, join the conversation, 605-720-1067. Invite you there, 605-720-1067. Be a part of the show there. Barron's Wilson text line also open. If you can't call, you can text 605-720-1067. 605-720-1067. That's the Barron's Wilson text line. Okay, we have to start with what happened Saturday night in Brookings. So we have to start there. There's not a ton to say from the Jacks side. I'm going to be talking to the head men's basketball coach for the Jacks coming up next, so I'll get to the basketball stuff, but let's just stay dialed in on the football here. North Dakota State got it going early. Cole Payton is the real deal. The Bison, I expected. I picked them to win the game. I know. I was like, oh, come on. You're not with the Jacks. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I try to give you some honest feedback here, and I said I hadn't watched every NDSU game. I hadn't watched every play of SDSU, but I even thought, you look at North Dakota State, when I talk to the guys that are covering the team, when you look at that team this year, they're saying Cole Payton's playing at a Walter Payton Award level. Cole Payton, the QB for the Bison, playing at a National Player of the Year level. And I wasn't so sure. I'm like, well, we'll see. I mean, the Jacks are pretty good. One on the road at Montana State. We'll see. North Dakota State hasn't played anybody, and I believe that. But I did think the Bison were good. I was surprised by the margin. Dan Jackson, head coach at South Dakota State, is saying, hey, this is the moment. We will rebound here. We will respond. He's saying this is the moment. This is the first loss for these guys. And he said, this is the spot where this team's going to bounce back. So we shall see. These guys are probably going to run into each other. I would think. We'll see, because I think the FCS is not packed this year. The FCS is not just jam-packed with great teams. So we'll see if this happens again. But the North Dakota State Bison are good. Cole Payton is the real deal. I think, what was he, 9 of 9 for 146 right away? I mean, it was just off the charts. And Chase Mason being out for the Jacks, everybody wanted to focus on that. That's a big thing. You don't have your number one quarterback who maybe your best offensive player. He's the best guy, right? And he's out in a boot. So that doesn't get you going the right way, but I don't think the SDSU defense had answers at all. North Dakota State, I hate to break it to you, would have scored more points. They actually would have scored more points. So it was all North Dakota State. There's not much else to say other than this. Let's see here. Listener text coming in. We got some North Dakota State fans chiming in. That's okay. 605-720-1067. Listener text. Don't know if you're going to cover this topic. How about them Bison? Well, yes, of course we will. Here's a question for everybody. You know what was just thrown out this afternoon? Have you heard of these Keighron ratings? This is the math statistician. He does all of the sports. He does football rankings, and he puts it into his math model. He has two different models, and he looks at strength of schedule. He compares all of the teams across the board, not just FBS, not just FCS. So he puts his models together. He has two different models. I'm not going to sit here and break down what does he look at. He looks at all of the analytic stuff, strength of schedule, who has the best team, who has played the best, okay? And he puts a rating by each team, okay? College football, Keighron ratings. What do you think North Dakota State's at today? In all of college football, where do you think they're at? He has North Dakota State coming in now at number 30 in the nation. He has him a top 30 team in the nation. This is Jeff Keighron. Keighron ratings as of today. Okay? As of today. Number 30. And so they're right behind Clemson. They're in front of Nebraska. They're in front of some Big 12 teams like Arizona State, Iowa State. They're in front of Florida State, Illinois out of the Big 10. So this is North Dakota State. Keighron ratings came out today. And this got my attention big time. I said, hang on. So they can't be ranked because the top 25 is just FBS. But if you took the Keighron ratings into play here, and he does his model, he says, here's where North Dakota State stacks up against all of college football. I'm going to ask you, will you buy that ranking today? I'm just telling you, they looked really good. I'm not buying the top 30 ranking today. I'm not buying the top. I think North Dakota State can go in and beat a lot of teams. But what people always forget about this, they aren't going to be able to go into the Big 12. They aren't going to be able to go into these conferences and win consistently over these teams. So I can't have them ranked higher than Arizona State. Could they catch Arizona State on a day? I don't know. That's a pretty good team with Dillingham down there. I think he's got them going pretty good. But you've seen this because UND, by the way, look out for UND. Anybody talking about UND? We have some North Dakota fans. UND's coming along. Look out. They got USD this weekend. So UND played with Kansas State. Yeah, almost took down Kansas State. So there is these teams where it's like, hey, if North Dakota State's really this good, Keighron ratings today has them in the country. They would be a top 30 team. So technically, if you're like able to put them in the top 25, they'd be receiving votes. They'd be close to a top 25 team in college football. I'm not buying that today. I'm not buying that today. You're telling me they're better? They're, 9 spots better than Nebraska? I can't go there today. I'm impressed. I think North Dakota State's the juggernaut. I think it's going to be a tough road for anybody. So what that told me Saturday night, I hate to burst the bubble, that party's going to be hard to break up. That NDSU party this year is going to be hard to break up, I will tell you. Not saying it's impossible. That's going to be a tough road. North Dakota State coming into Dana Dykhouse Saturday night and doing that, it was a tough go for the Jacks. And the Jacks are one of the best teams in the country. And that was a tough go. So I can't take them that far. Top 30 behind Clemson? I can't do it. Let's not go that far today. Okay, you tell me. That's what I'd like to know. 605-720-1067. Keighron ratings puts North Dakota State number 30 in the nation. They're ranked ahead of Nebraska. Do you think NDSU should be considered a top 30 team in all of college football? Nate Brown Show question of the day. 605-720-1067. Barron's Wilson text line if you can hit me. We will take you there. Should NDSU be considered a top 30 team in all of college football? Yes, they can be that team, or no, you can't go that far. I've answered it today. I don't waffle it. We don't waffle here. As impressive as NDSU was Saturday night, and FCS, they're going to be tough to beat. I mean, there's just no doubt. Top 30. I'm looking at all the teams they're ahead of. Nebraska, Florida State, Virginia, South Florida, South Carolina. South Carolina, they just gave Alabama all they could handle. NDSU's ahead of South Carolina, Illinois, Cincinnati, Arizona State, Iowa State. Yeah, I can't buy that one yet. They could beat some of those teams on a day. They could not win consistently like those programs. That's why the Sagarin ratings, I'm like, what's their strength of schedule? You know what North Dakota State's strength of schedule is in the country? 173rd. So how does Sagarin use his math stats and say 173rd strength of schedule? They're number 30 in the nation. What? I can't put those two together. Let's see. Listener text. They are ranked number 30. Listener text says, yes, I'm in on that. Listener text. NDSU ranked above the Huskers? No way. Yeah, I don't think so. I'm not telling you Nebraska's lighting the world on. I mean, they're not. They got by Northwestern, who's a lot better than they have been. But Huskers are beating NDSU today. Huskers are beating NDSU today. Listener text, SDSU may only win one more game. Huh? I don't know about that one. Careful on that one. They'll win more than one more game. They got Indiana State this weekend, and then they're not going to lose to USD. They won't lose to USD. They won't lose to Illinois State. UND, dicey. UND, dicey. Let's see. Listener text. My biggest takeaway from the Dakota marker was more of what happened last week during the week. Coach Jackson wanted to play that game of who's starting at quarterback, so they closed practice thinking they had an advantage. NDSU didn't want to play that game. Lister text, they are not a top 30 team. Still more like D2. Oh, don't go there. Don't go there. NDSU's a good program. Really good program. Come on now. Come on now. Lister text, what was SDSU Sagarin in 2023? About the same as NDSU now. Yeah. You think about this. I've said this before. We know these teams can go in and beat teams. SDSU's done it. NDSU's done it. NDSU had Colorado on the ropes last year. Remember Colorado? They're pretty good last year. They had them on the ropes. So FCS teams that are at the top of the here's what I want to tell everybody. I want everybody to remember this. All the guys that say we don't want to go FBS, we don't want to go FBS, we don't want to do this. It's going to be meaningless. We're going to be 6-6. We're playing a meaningless bowl game. Are you kidding right now? North Dakota State couldn't go and win the Sun Belt. They couldn't win the Conference USA. They might be able to be near the top of the Mountain West. I'm serious. They're going to build. So NDSU, a program like that, and I throw in SDSU on this, don't say FBS, they're just going to fall into oblivion. You can't have it both ways, that they're a top 30 program according to the Sagarin ratings today, and then they just fall into the mediocrity if they went FBS. I'm not a believer in that. I think the best programs, the Jacks, the Bison, you put them into the AAC, you put them into the Mountain West, they build pretty quickly, and I think they compete quickly. I think they could. So I'm telling you, I don't believe they're like top 30. Like that's pretty bold. 173rd strength of schedule this year. I'm not buying that deal today. But I'm also not killing the idea that they just fall into 6-6 in the Mountain West. I don't think so. I think the best FCS programs are very close, and those are the best. Let's see. Listener text. Have North Dakota State play Alabama, then get back to me. Let's see. Where's Alabama at? Number 6 on the Sagarin ratings. 6 versus number 30. probably wouldn't turn out so well for the Bison, I'm thinking. Let's see, one more listener text. Most polls are opinion pieces. Well, yeah, but this is the Keighron ratings. This is the mathematician, the sports analytics guys who tell us everything that's right? North Dakota State's number 30 today after the win over South Dakota State. I don't think so. What do you say? 62% of you are voting yes. I think they're top 30. 38% of you say no, you can't go that far today. I'm with the 38%. It's not the first time. 38% of you and me. You can't put NDSU top 30 in the country. Let's go SDSU. Basketball. 1 week from today, it's the Field of 68 opening day marathon at the Pentagon. South Dakota State's the headliner. Their new head coach, Bryan Petersen, joins me live next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
Hey, it's Nate Brown for Atomic Wings, 2 locations in Sioux Falls. You don't need to keep going to the mediocre wing places with too much breading and wings that don't have any meat. Atomic Wings is different. I know firsthand. Their boneless wings are made with fresh chicken right there. The best wings I've had. 15 unique flavors to choose from sweet to heat. Huge traditional wings, fresh boneless wings for game day, lunch, or dinner. 2 locations in Sioux Falls. Just order at atomicwings.com. Atomicwings.com.
At Black Hills Federal Credit Union, we are committed to improving the lives of our members and bettering our communities. As your community credit union, we're here to get to know you and your unique needs. From extended service hours to the newest technology, we have you covered. Stop by any location to get started or text or call 605-718-1818. BHFCU is member-owned, not-for-profit, and federally insured by the NCUA.
In the studio today, I have Weston and Tanisha Chapman, owners of Black Hills Tire. What kind of diesel services does Black Hills Tire specialize in?
Black Hills Tire is really going to focus on a lot of new diesel services. We're doing factory maintenance and service. We're doing fuel system diagnostics and repair. We're going to do engine repair, even all the way into engine overhauls and engine removals and installation, whether it's driveline components and repair, transmission service, transmission and clutch replacements, brakes. We're doing everything. Check us out at blackhillstire.com.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Rain showers likely this afternoon, otherwise cloudy skies expected. Daytime highs approaching 52, winds out of the northwest 10 to 15 miles per hour. Chance of rain showers tonight, lows level off around 36, cloudy skies expected. Daytime highs approaching 50, tomorrow bright sunshine expected. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Right now, it's 39 degrees.
At Connect Home Center, they've been a part of the Mead Lumber family since 2000. Now, they're bringing everything together under one trusted name, Mead Lumber. Don't worry, your favorite team, great service, and high-quality products aren't going anywhere. Connect Home Center is becoming Mead Lumber. Same people, same service, just a new name. From design to finish, here for you every step of the way. Check them out at meadlumber.com.
At Danny Mano Rushmore Honda, our buyback event was a huge success, and now we've got a lot full of fresh trades. Over 175 used SUVs available from Jeep, Honda, Ford, Nissan, Subaru, GMC, and more. Plus, the area's best selection of used Hondas and Honda certified pre-owned sport utilities. Get 0.99% APR on select certified pre-owned. Buy before the snow flies. See us at Danny Mano Rushmore Honda or RushmoreHonda.com. Like the finance contract is limited with qualified credit. Expires 11/3/25.
Whether you run the race, make the catch, cast a line, pitch a tent, or just look good doing it, Shields Rapid City has your gear. From athletic clothing from your favorite team, cold weather gear to keep you warm, to the best camping selection this side of the Black Hills, and the most stylish and functional women's outerwear and footwear. Shields has the widest selection of the best brands in the business. So when you're ready to get out, get in the game, or get going, get to Shields. Shields, we're right there with you at Rushmore Crossing in Rapid City.
Live callers, big-time interviews, and breaking sports news. This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show, The Nate Brown.
Hey, welcome back in across the state. South Dakota Sports Talk Show live. Glad you're here. Hope you're having a great Monday. I know it's Monday, but we're back at it. Thanks for being here. South Dakota Sports Talk Show on Fox Sports Radio. Coming up, John Brice, national college football writer. Has been quite busy in college football. You know that, John Brice, covering .com. He's on tap. Jason Andera is checking in. High school football playoffs upon us. SDPB high school sports analyst Jason Andera is coming up 1 week from today at the Pentagon. Field of 68 opening day marathon college basketball, and the headliner is South Dakota State next Monday. Are we ready? Brian Petersen's the head men's basketball coach for the Jacks. He's been an assistant there with Hendo, and well, this program's been rocking. Well, I mean, we all know that, right? 129-60 over the past 6 seasons. Some Summit League championships, NCAA tournaments. Head coach for the Jacks is Brian Petersen on the Nate Brown Show tonight. Coach, good to have you on. How are you?
Doing good. Thanks for having me on, Nate.
I appreciate your time. So let's get into it, man. It's hoop season. How do you feel right now? You're running the show. You got your guys. You got an exhibition here in a couple of days. How do you feel right now getting it going?
Well, super excited. You know, it's one of those things where, you know, we started this process when I got the job on March 29th, and those first few months were pretty crazy, obviously with all the change and just, you know, the new staff additions and then the roster management. And we were pretty fortunate enough to retain a good portion of our roster, which wasn't the case for a lot of, you know, programs across men's college basketball. But, you know, you always kind of look at it, you know, in June, July, like, oh, we got a long time before the first game, and then you get back in the fall and you get after it, and then you're like, oh, we still got a couple months here, and then it always sneaks up on you here these last couple of weeks. You know, it's the countdown I've had since we've had 10 practices left till our first game against Merrimack. Obviously, we're really getting ready for Mayville State right now because that's who we play in our exhibition on Wednesday. But, you know, you're always counting down, and these last 2 weeks have been very exciting because, you know, the opportunity to go compete with this group and this staff is getting closer and closer, and we're just excited. You know, excited for the opportunity. My family's really excited, obviously, for the new opportunity as well, and so looking forward to Wednesday.
Jacks head men's basketball coach Brian Petersen on tonight. They're playing Merrimack in the Field of 68 opening day marathon. It's at the Pentagon next Monday. You want to see this thing. It's going to be 3 great games, by the way, at the Pentagon, and the Jacks playing the nightcap at. And I got to ask you, you said we were fortunate to keep players. It's a tough business now. How do you think you kept a lot of this roster? How did you do that? What was your approach?
Well, I don't like to use the word I. Honestly, I think it's more of a we thing, and I believe our guys that made the decision to stay here at South Dakota State was more about their experience they've had here as a student athlete and as a men's basketball player over the course of their years. You know, some guys were here for just 1 year, maybe they're in year 2 or 3. Just overall, I think the experience that they've had. We do obviously have some local kids. We got some South Dakota kids that dreamed about being a jackrabbit, you know, so I know that helped as well too. But I think the experience that, you know, myself and the rest of our staff that we've had, and then the overall athletic department, and then probably most importantly our fan base, has given these returners a really, really good first expression and experience as jackrabbits. So I think that was a big part of it. But obviously when the transition happened, when Hendo took the Drake job, you know, I had a lot of conversations with the guys that, you know, potentially could come back. And, you know, and at the end of the day, it's they know who I am. They know how I coach. Obviously, I got to go into a new role, but I think the familiarity of how the program is going to be run, there's not going to be a ton of change. Obviously, I'm not Hendo, so it's not going to be the exact same. I got to be my own person. And then obviously with our new staff members, they're going to add their, you know, obviously their niche to our program and their strengths as well to our program. But I think at the end of the day, the reason we were able to retain a good amount of players is just their overall experience they've had here as a men's basketball player at South Dakota State.
Coach, you've been a popular assistant there. Players have really built relationships with you. And then you go to the head coaching role, and you said things are going to change for me now. So what changes the most? And is there such a thing as the head coach is the bad cop, and now you got to find a good cop? What's the deal?
It's a good way to put it. Maybe there's a little of that. You know, obviously, you know, there's a little bit more final decision-making that goes into this role now. I was always able to give Hendo, you know, kind of my 2 cents and my opinion on things. But, you know, he obviously had to make a lot of the final decisions. And he did a great job of bringing us all in as assistant coaches and getting feedback But when you step into the head coaching role, you gotta make the final decision on some things. So, the adjustment to that again, and then. Yeah, I don't know about good cop, bad cop. I definitely got to find, I got some really good staff members that do a really good job of building relationships with our players and spending time with them. So I know, we're in a good spot with that because I do know, obviously I'm still going to be a relationship-first coach, even as a head coach, but I do have other things that I got to, spend a little bit more time on, that I didn't as an assistant. So I definitely was very important for me to bring in some staff that was going to spend time with our players in the gym, off the court, building relationships with them, because I know that's a huge piece. Again, going back to our retention and our players coming back, I knew that was a big part of it is the relationship they have with the staff.
Good to have him on tonight. Bryan Petersen, South Dakota State men's basketball coach, a week out from the Pentagon opening day marathon, the Field of 68. 3 great games at the Pentagon next Monday. South Dakota State taking on Merrimack. What did you notice from the 24-25 campaign that now you get ready for this year? A lot of the same guys are back. You've added some guys, but what did you need to tweak here? What did you need to change to get on top of this conference?
I think we need to be a little more balanced this year. Just when it comes to offensively, we were pretty heavy with Oscar Clough, rightfully so. I mean, he was one of the best college basketball centers, regardless of conference. So I do feel like going into this season, if you were going to compare it to last season, I felt like we just need to be more balanced offensively. I think we got some capable scorers, some guys that could have some big nights, but I don't know if we have that just straight dominant force like we had with Oscar Clough. So we had to make a few small tweaks to our offense, which will allow hopefully a lot more of our our movement and what we do from a motion standpoint to hopefully generate a lot of good shots for our offense. And then I think we just really had to ramp up our execution. I think attention to our details a little bit more. I think we need to be a very physical team. Not that we weren't a physical team last year, and we haven't prided ourselves on that. But I think we have a lot of strong bodies on this roster. We got some returning guys that have been through the physicality of college basketball at this level. So, that's something else that we've been preaching on pretty hard and pretty consistently. Is just being very physical. But I would say if you were going to say, okay, what are the 2 things that trying to improve on a little bit more than last year, I'd say, hopefully we can be, a balanced offensive unit. That's my goal, is hopefully to have, a team that's, got a lot of different scoring options, and we can score it in hopefully a variety of ways. And then just execution, just being a really, really good execution team, whether it be situational basketball or just kind of throughout the flow of the game.
I look at this roster, and I see these South Dakota guys. We all know these guys. We've seen them now, not only in high school, but now contribute for you. What does it feel like, I guess, within a program to have 4 South Dakota guys that are playing on this roster and guys that are going to contribute? What does that do for a South Dakota State University program and the fan base?
Well, the fans are going to love it just because, they have a little bit more of a known history with these players because they watched them maybe growing up or especially in high school. So I definitely know that helps, and our fans love all of our players, but I do know they enjoy seeing, obviously, the really good South Dakota kids that are good enough for our level to come be Jackrabbits because, they kind of watch them a lot. It's a basketball state. People around here love high school basketball as well. So they've watched, Kaylin Gary and Damon Wilkinson up in DeSmet, and obviously Joe Souther at White River, and Matthew Moore's down at Yankton, and Alex Squires, from Dakota Valley. So, I think it helps our fan base as a coach to have regional kids. Obviously, in-state is always going to be the most important to us of a recruiting standpoint. But just getting regional kids in general, I think, is huge. It's always been big, I think, but now more than ever with the transfer portal, I think, that helps with the retention piece as well. And when I was the head coach at Kirkwood Community College down in Iowa, we always started, in our backyard. Iowa was a very important state for us to get the best possible players we could to be a part of our roster. And then we will recruit outside of that, but we always want to start there, and if there are players that we identify in the state of South Dakota, in this region, that we feel could be great Jackrabbits, we got to get them. We got to get them because it's been a really good recipe for a long time. Not just since I've been here as an assistant, but, with Coach Nagy and then with TJ and then the Hendo. I think all the staffs previously in the Division I era have done a really good job of recruiting the state. And so I knew it was really important for us at our staff to make sure that we do a good job of that moving forward.
Bryan Petersen joining us tonight. Couple more. I'll let him run. He's the head coach for the Jacks. South Dakota State getting ready for the national event, the Field of 68 opening day marathon. It's Monday, November 3rd, 1 week from today, taking on Merrimack at the Pentagon. So I know you got the exhibition, and we don't have to break down X's and O's, but what about being in this Field of 68 event? Again, you guys took on McNeese State. That was a good team. You beat them last year. Now you have Merrimack. What about this national event at the Pentagon do you like?
Well, it's a fun day to be a part of. Jeff Goodman, Rob Doster, and the Field of 68 crew, put together this event last year in its inaugural season. And what I appreciate about them is they really, are looking out for the mid-major programs and trying to get us national recognition. And I thought what they did last year at the Pentagon was really fun. They did a great job of promoting the event and just bringing light to all the really good programs that played in it last year, and then they're doing the same thing this year, and they've even added to it. They got 2 sites going on, and it's going to be more of an all-day event with both sites going. So it's just really good exposure for our program. It's a really well event. Obviously, being at the Pentagon is a big deal for us. It's down in Sioux Falls where a lot of our fan base is at. The Pentagon staff treat us tremendously, so we always love going down there and playing. Our players always have a great experience down there with them. So there's a lot of good things about playing this event, and then we always get a good game. Last year McNeese State, like you said, was an NCAA tournament team, very, very talented. It was an awesome game to be a part of, and it really got us off to a great start last year. And I tell people, obviously the win helped, and that felt good, but just playing well on that stage and that environment against a quality team is a great way to start the season. And looking forward to hopefully another similar outcome. But we're going to have our hands full. Merrimack's a very good school, or a very good team. Coach Joey Gallo has been doing a really good job with that program since he took over, and they just keep getting better and better every year. And, they play a unique style, too. They play a very unique 2-3 zone that causes a lot of issues for a lot of offensive teams. And so we'll have our work cut out for us down there next Monday.
All right, Coach, what are we going to see? What are the fans going to see from a Bryan Petersen-led Jacks program? What are you going to hang your hat on here?
Well, we're going to be very selfless. Just in general, we're going to pass the ball. We're going to be very selfless, like I said earlier. Hopefully balanced, scoring. But at the end of the day, we're going to be super physical this year. We're going to always play to our personnel and our players' strengths. Obviously, I always want selfless players. We always want to play fast. We're always going to be skilled and hopefully shoot the 3 ball at a really high clip, just like we've been doing here for the last 6 seasons. But very physical, selfless group that have a lot of joy playing together. And then defensively, man-to-man will be our calling card in the half court. Again, I use the word physical, but that's hopefully what we'll see. That's what we've been striving for. That's the identity on both sides of the basketball, that we want to make sure that our fans and our opponents, that's what we want them thinking. When they get ready to play us, a really physical basketball team that's very selfless, that's extremely competitive, that plays with a lot of joy together, and then hopefully it's a big-time execution team. So that's what we're going to hopefully hang our head at. That's what we've been working on all summer and fall, and we're just excited now to see if we can go do it against somebody else on Wednesday.
I like it. Basketball season's here. The Jacks will be at the Pentagon next Monday. Get ready for that event. Field of 68 opening day marathon. They're taking on Merrimack. First thing, the exhibition coming up on Wednesday for the Jacks. Head coach is Bryan Petersen, South Dakota State men's basketball coach. We'll talk to you again. Thanks a lot.
No, thanks for having me on. Have a great rest of the week.
Appreciate you. Bryan Petersen on tonight. South Dakota State men's basketball head coach has been a big part of this program last 6 seasons as an assistant coach for Coach Hendo. Jackrabbit men's basketball, 4 Summit League regular season titles, 2 tournament championships, 2 NCAA tournament appearances. Bryan Petersen now takes over as head man for Eric Henderson, who goes to Drake. And what are we going to have on Thursday on this show? Hendo coming back to the program. So we'll have Eric Henderson live on the Nate Brown Show coming up on Thursday as we count down to 1 week from today, Monday, November 3rd. Get ready for the Pentagon Field of 68 opening day marathon, the opening day of college basketball, a national event right there at the Pentagon. The Jacks face Merrimack at the night game, and then we'll talk to Coach Hendo coming up on Thursday with his season preview of the Drake basketball program. Coming right back on the Nate Brown Show, just getting started. We'll go high school football. We've done it every Monday all season long. It's playoff time now. Who are the favorites? Jason Andera from SDPB in next.
This is the Nate Brown.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds to share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one, so you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
October is Renewal by Anderson's United Against Cancer campaign, and when Renewal offered to pay for employees' radon testing and mitigation, several Renewal team members found radon in their homes. Deb was one of them, and she always wondered how she got breast cancer. Radon causes cancer. It's linked to Parkinson's, Alzheimer's. Radon is a killer.
People don't know about radon. They don't know what a killer it is, and they don't know how cheap it is to have it tested.
From all of us at Renewal by Anderson, please get a radon test now. It could save your life.
What do you call a place? It's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait? There's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps one minute, and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside. You don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on, and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
I didn't know anything about radon. I didn't know it's a gas you can't see or smell. I didn't know it's radioactive from decaying uranium deep underground. It can seep through cracks in your foundation and collect in your house. 1 in 15 homes have high levels, and you don't know if yours is one of them unless you have your home tested. And radon? Well, radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer in America. I wish I would have known that.
Call Blackburn Foundation Repair for radon testing and mitigation.
Notice it's sometimes hard to find the right one. That's where Summit Automotive Group steps in. Stacy and Matt and their staff working hard to get a great selection of pre-owned vehicles at affordable prices. At Summit Automotive, they have a different outlook on selling you a vehicle. You'll experience stress-free shopping, friendly, honest service with no high-pressure sales gimmicks. Before you buy, drop by East Highway 44, SummitAutoGRP.com.
Your sports, your show. From East River to West River, this is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown.
All right, we're just getting going on a Monday. Thanks for being here. South Dakota Sports Talk Show is live. Fox Sports Radio across the state. The Nate Brown Show is on. It is a Reaction Monday tonight where Rob Keighron pops in, second hour of the show. So hang on. National radio host, the famous Rob Keighron. That is true, by the way, national radio host. You know I don't screw around with that stuff, right? He's out of New York City. This is a big timer. We found him. He's on South Dakota Sports Talk Show. We got him on a Reaction Monday. Rob Keighron, our guest host on Monday, coming up in the second hour. Jason Andera has been on every Monday this high school football season, right? That's big time. South Dakota high school football coverage from SDPB. These guys do a great job. His show, Talking High School Football, has been game time. And it's playoff time. Jason, welcome in. How are you?
I'm doing great. Great to be on every week of the season.
How about that?
Where's it gone? Where's it gone, Nate?
I will say it's been really, really fast. I don't know. We probably say that every year, but
we do, but
it's been fast, and now we got playoff time. So let me get into a couple of things. Before we preview some of the games that I'm interested in this week, So I saw 3 lower seeds win across all games this first round. 9-man, 11B. I think that was the number. And people are going to say, well, at least there was 3 upsets. I guess the football playoff field, there's a lot of lopsided games. Are you still a proponent saying we could think about maybe changing the playoff format to lesser teams?
Yeah, me and my brother were putting an over-under on how many single-digit games there would be. We guessed 2. There was actually 4. But out of all those games, 4 fairly competitive games, and like you said, a couple of upsets, a couple of road teams getting it done. But I'm definitely a proponent for making it, the teams with a chance to win a championship, the best teams getting to the place where they need to, and I think we could do it by just cutting it right down to 8. Personally, I know that there's some proposals for 12, but I think we just start with the quarterfinals and go on in, and those teams that have that first round playoff game, they could just add a regular season game to their list, just like 11 AAA, AA, and A do. But I'm not sure if that's going to get changed or not. It's just kind of been that way every year since I've covered high school football.
Yeah,
that you get those dozers in the first round.
16 teams making the playoffs in 9-man and 11B. Just a lot of blowouts, 1 through 16 there. So Jake Terry's the head coach at Elk Point Jefferson. They won their opening game. He said years ago when he arrived there at Elk Point Jefferson, they hadn't made the playoffs for a long time. Yeah. They finally got in, and they were one of those low seeds. And he said that he feels helped them build the program. Hey, we got a playoff game. Then we advanced. Then we did this. So he sounded like, and he's part of the football advisory committee, the head coach there, Jake Terry at Elk Point. He said, that's what programs are thinking. Maybe we can build if we just get into the playoffs. I think that's the pushback.
Yeah, I mean, if there's a coach I respect, it's Jake Terry. He's definitely more knowledgeable on that than I am. But do those positives weigh the negatives of traveling across the state and those extra miles for those teams that are just going to take a beating? And I don't know. Could it be done differently? Sure. Give a nod to those teams that do make the playoffs, I guess. But I think Jake would have been just fine had there been 8 teams and they could have just seen their record get better. I don't know if they'd had to make the playoffs to motivate them to be one of the best teams in the state.
Okay, here's one more thing. I talked about it a lot last week, got a lot of interaction on the show with Montana, and they have a football model where they reclassify teams. If teams want to move down a division, they say, okay, we're going to look at this, and then we'll decide. And I talked to their executive director of the Montana High School Association. They look at roster size the last 4 years, enrollment, success factor, how many wins and losses did you have, and then free and reduced lunch at your school. So they use a model to say, we'll let you go down. Do you think that's a plan? 4 elements like that for South Dakota to look at teams going down.
I'd be curious to see, some success stories out of that model too. I do. I've told you before, I don't like the promotion factor where you're forced to move up. But moving down, I've seen it work for communities. And, if teams want to go that route, who are we to stand in their way? Other than, I suppose, the teams that are already in that class, maybe thinking it's unfair that, teams get from bigger schools get to play them. But I'd be curious to hear what the success stories are coming out of Montana. If there's some schools that have maybe made a turn around because they get that confidence going, I'm not sure. So I would be in favor of that for sure. At least looking into it.
Do you think roster size is something, a new element? That's what caught my attention, Jason. It's like, roster size may be a good picture of how healthy a program is.
Yeah, you're going to have those people that say, well, our team's going to manipulate their roster size to do that, and maybe they would. But I think that's in there for the teams maybe that just don't have football as a staple in their community, and they get penalized. They're a bigger school, and they get penalized because they just don't have that many players going out for football. So I see why that's in there, but like everything, it is a tool for somebody to manipulate it, possibly. Not listing freshmen or whatever they would do to make sure that their roster size is smaller. But I think there'll be more positives than negatives coming out of that.
Jason Andera on tonight, SDPB Sports. His show is called Game Time, talking high school football all season long. Find him on Twitter at 605Jandy. Let's go to this week. So 11AA, I just want to hit this one. I don't know how many upsets we're going to have. We got Yankton Spearfish, Sturgis Watertown, Huron Brookings, Pier T. Do you see multiple upsets in AA?
I mean, yeah. If you've been paying attention to 11AA, you're going to see a couple upsets there. The one I feel the most confident is not going to be an upset is Pier in T area.
Okay.
T area with two really key injuries that have kind of got them in a tailspin, and then Pier on the other side really starting to ascend right now. But Huron Brookings just played each other, and that went Brookings' way, and now they go on the road, Brookings does, to try to take on Huron.
Yeah.
That could go either way. I think Sturgis, despite, being without Sully Jost, one of their top players for the last couple of weeks, have really started to put things together. That's a team that lost to Watertown earlier this year. They end up with the same record, lost to Watertown, and somehow get a home game out of it. That's what John Hodor is complaining about for Watertown, but that's because of the three-way tie. But anyway, I think Watertown could easily get a road win on that one. I mean, that could go either way. Even Spearfish at Yankton, I doubt it, but don't be shocked. I mean, if we've learned anything this year, don't be shocked. I mean, Spearfish has the talent. They've got the players. The Vavruska kid's great. Their quarterback is great. Just not the depth that Yankton has. So a couple big plays go Spearfish's way. Who knows?
First round for 11AA is going to be something. Here's the class that everybody couldn't compete with Pier, and now it's like everybody's in this thing, 1 through 8, darn near. It's wild. First round of the playoffs coming up Thursday. I'm not worried about Brandon Valley here with Roosevelt, but what about Brandon Valley going down this past weekend? What should we think?
Well, you called it Reaction Monday. Maybe it'll be Overreaction Monday. I still think Brandon Valley is the best team, the team to beat. Last week, with their backup quarterback and a number one seed locked, I know Matt Christensen didn't give anybody a break, didn't give anybody rest, but when the team has it locked up, you could tell they just didn't dot their I's and cross their T's. I think Brandon's the team to beat here, and I would suspect they're going to have a great week of practice and be ready for the semifinals in a couple weeks.
Can Washington knock off Jefferson?
Yeah, they sure could. Yes, they could. This is a Washington team that has really put things together. Love what they're doing running the football. The first time they played Jefferson, they gained 9 yards rushing. Since then, they have retooled almost everything. They've capitalized on their plus-minus, on their turnovers. They're doing much better in that department. This is a dangerous team. And Jefferson, they can play with the best teams in the state, and they can play with some of those mid-level teams in the state, too. So, and they didn't have their starting quarterback last week, even with that win against Brandon Valley. That could make a big difference. We'll see if Washington is able to exploit that with some takeaways.
First round of the playoffs, 11A through 11 AAA, coming up Thursday. Jason Andera is on SDPB. The show is called Game Time. Find it at SDPB Sports. Jason, I appreciate you. Thanks, man.
All right, we'll talk to you next week.
Thanks a lot. Jason Andera on every Monday on the Nate Brown Show, high school football analyst, South Dakota Public Broadcasting. His show every week released. It's called Game Time. And he's here on the Nate Brown Show. Coming right back with John Brice, national college football writer for Football Scoop. Brian Kelly gets fired by LSU. We'll start there. John's covered him a long time at Notre Dame down to LSU. Coming up.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. to share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one, so you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
October is Renewal by Anderson's United Against Cancer campaign, and when Renewal offered to pay for employees' radon testing and mitigation, several Renewal team members found radon in their homes. Deb was one of them, and she always wondered how she got breast cancer. Radon causes cancer. It's linked to Parkinson's, Alzheimer's. Radon is a killer.
People don't know about radon. They don't know what a killer it is, and they don't know how cheap it is to have it tested.
From all of us at Renewal by Anderson, please get a radon test now. It could save your life.
What do you call a place? It's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait? There's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps one minute, and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
I didn't know anything about radon. I didn't know it's a gas you can't see or smell. I didn't know it's radioactive from decaying uranium deep underground. It can seep through cracks in your foundation and collect in your house. 1 in 15 homes have high levels, and you don't know if yours is one of them unless you have your home tested. And radon? Well, radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer in America. I wish I would have known that.
Call Blackburn Foundation Repair for radon testing and mitigation.
Eastern South Dakota, where you can order an ice-cold brew in their adjoining campfire bar and enjoy it while you shop. This month's specials include all flavors of Jim Beam Bourbon, $18.99 for a $7.50. Save $3 off all flavors of Bailey's Irish Cream, now only $29.49. Or choose Stella Rosa wines, now just $10.99. Price is good at both Mr. Liquor stores, off Catron Boulevard next to Walmart, or on the corner of West Chicago and Sturgis Road in Rapid City.
You're listening to The Nate Brown Show, also streaming right now on X. Follow us and watch the show live at Nate Brown Show.
Hey, welcome back in. The Nate Brown Show is on Fox Sports Radio. Thanks to our affiliates across the state, KWSN, Fox Sports Sioux Falls, Fox Sports Rapid City. Glad you're here. The Nate Brown Show is on tonight. Rob Keighron's in, our guest host, national radio host, the famous Rob Keighron, on a Reaction Monday, our guest host this next hour, so hang on. John Brice joining us tonight on a college football Monday. Man, there's just news every weekend. Footballscoop.com for the best place to get your news. Footballscoop.com, national writer John Brice in, and he's covered Brian Kelly over the years. John, welcome in. How are you?
I'm good, Nate. Always appreciate the chance to visit. I heard that promo for a basketball tournament, and I feel like you're probably lethal with a granny shot from the free throw line.
You better believe it. I'm coaching these days, so I'm even more deadly.
You got all the answers.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, let me ask you about, speaking of coaching and all the heat and all the expectations and all of the pressure, is there such thing as saying Brian Kelly was not a good fit at LSU? Is that a right statement?
Yeah, I had a coach tell me last week, like, JB, I hate the term fit. but maybe this person is just not a fit. And it was not about Brian Kelly, but it was very pertinent to things that are going on right now in the world of college football. And, yeah, I think that Brian Kelly at the time did believe he could have a more conducive pathway to competing for and winning a national championship at LSU than he did at Notre Dame. And he also absolutely had an inarguable, clear pathway to the largest payday of his career. And he got that. I think he had more or less come to a loggerhead with then Notre Dame athletics director Jack Swarbrick. He had broken Nuke Rockney's record for the most all-time wins in Notre Dame program history, but he had not been embraced for it for multiple reasons, and plenty of them his own doing. But, yeah, it was time for him to go from Notre Dame, but the fit at LSU was not ideal, and that bore itself out really over the last 10 days.
Last few weeks, James Franklin, Billy Napier, Florida, Brian Kelly, LSU. Nick Saban said last week, coaches are getting fired like this because people are giving the money and they think they have a voice, and so you got to take action now. It's the way of the world. That's what Saban says. So he's talking the NIL basically and the money. Is that why college coaches are getting fired in the season quicker than ever?
That part is mildly debatable, Nate, because it was 4 years ago that I think Clay Helton got fired by USC like the second weekend of September. And it was 4 years ago that Jay, his last name escapes me, got fired from Southern Miss on Labor Day weekend, the opening weekend of the season. And Southern Miss had a really bad loss, and they moved on from him and ended up hiring Will Hall. And then after this past season, after the 24 season, moved on from Will Hall. So maybe there's a greater volume of it, but it's not unprecedented this decade that we've had early firings and that we've had early firings at big-time programs. Now, there hasn't been necessarily scandal associated with any of these firings at big-time programs other than Troy Taylor earlier this year at Stanford and amidst an investigation over his treatment of other employees and some other things that are still under investigation at Stanford. So in that regard, it's not entirely unprecedented, in my opinion. The volume of it is unprecedented. I'll disagree with Nick, who will sleep away more football knowledge just tonight than I've ever had in my life. But to think that money people are only just now influencing decisions in college football is also thinking that the Tooth Fairy will visit you tonight, Nate.
Okay, I kind of get that because there's always been money involved, but Saban says, well, everybody's racing money to pay players, so now those voices are bigger. Let me ask you about this. My question of the day, are these college football head coach firings happening too quickly? You say it's not unprecedented, but these last 3 weeks, are these too quick of firings for coaches that have won games?
That's the million-dollar question, or actually it's the multi-million-dollar question that's most often tied to buyouts. It's hard to say that they're acting too quickly if you believe it's over and gone and done and that there's no getting it back. And I think that at Penn State a couple of weeks ago it became painstakingly obvious that for whatever reason James Franklin had gone from having a 10-0 lead against Notre Dame near halftime in the Orange Bowl with a berth in the national championship on the line the second week of January to no longer remotely having the pulse of the Penn State program. And I think in the last 10 days, our owner at Football Scoop lives in Baton Rouge. He's a New Orleans native. He knows the landscape there well. And he called me Friday a week ago, Nate, and he said, JB, I'm just going to tell you, things are bad here, and they're bad because people can't believe that LSU is an underdog to Vanderbilt, let alone what might happen if LSU goes and actually loses to Vanderbilt. And so you started getting that about 10 days ago. There were questions about fit there. Already, those questions were compounded when the move from Mike Denbrock, who was stolen away in a move that really personally stung Brian Kelly, stolen away to go back to Notre Dame And then he replaced him with Joe Sloan, and Denbrock had helped Jaden Daniels win the Heisman, and obviously Jaden Daniels went on and was the NFL's best rookie a year ago. Brian Kelly never recovered from that. And again, once it's over, man, it's like a dating relationship. You've broken a lot of hearts through the years, Nate. When it's done, it's done. You got to move on.
All right, John Brice on tonight. Find his work, footballscoop.com. Always love having him, national college football writer. You mentioned Vanderbilt, so they win again. Clark Lee, former South Dakota State assistant with John Stiglmeyer. He has a great tree. Clark Lee has taken Vanderbilt from nothing to now a program. Is Clark Lee one of the candidates that could get a big job? Does he take a big job?
I do believe that Clark Lee would take a big job. Now, look, Vanderbilt's his alma mater. He grew up down the road there, played at Montgomery Bell Academy, I believe. So he's well-versed and entrenched in Vanderbilt. But also you have to ask yourself, how much can I possibly get done? And Vanderbilt's paid me more than any coach that it's ever paid, but how much more could a Penn State pay me? So I would pay particular attention if Penn State doesn't have something locked up behind the scenes with Matt Rule in Nebraska, and I still am very strongly told he's far and away Penn State's top candidate. If Penn State doesn't have something locked up with Matt Rule in Nebraska, as long as Clark Lee keeps winning, proven program builder, a great game day coach, a man whose character is beyond reproach, I would watch him at Penn State. I don't see Clark Lee's not going to leave Vanderbilt for Arkansas, or Clark Lee is not going to leave Vanderbilt for Virginia Tech, but Vanderbilt for a Penn State, I think Clark Lee fits the bill of a Penn State man, but probably a little finer than the average Penn State man.
John Brice in tonight. He's rolling on a Monday, working the phones. That's what he's doing, footballscoop.com, and he's on the Nate Brown Show across the state of South Dakota. John, I appreciate you. Thanks a lot.
You're the best, Nate. Appreciate you, buddy.
Thanks a lot. John Brice on tonight, footballscoop.com, national college football writer. Follow his work at footballscoop.com. What would John say? I was going to ask him, is North Dakota State a top 30 team in all of college football? That's my question of the day. If you're just joining us tonight on the Nate Brown Show, North Dakota State took care of South Dakota State. We know that in a big way Saturday night. Jacks didn't have Chase Mason. That hurt big time, changes the approach, the whole thing. But the defense couldn't hold down Cole Payton and the NDSU offense. I mean, it was lights out. And so Sagarin Ratings, this mathematician who ranks college football teams, strength of schedule, and all of these models, he has North Dakota State now number 30 in the nation out of all teams. They're ahead of Nebraska. They're ahead of Illinois. They're right behind Clemson. That's where he has North Dakota State. I'm not buying that level, but my question of the day is for you, do you buy that now? FCS's top team, North Dakota State, ranked number 30 in all of college football. Would you put them there? Top 30 team? Or no, you can't go that far looking at the programs that they're ahead of. That's my question of the day. You tell me. 605-720-1067. Is North Dakota State a top 30 team in all of college football? Do you believe that? 605-720-1067 on the text line. Reaction Monday starts next with Rob Keighron live in studio. We'll start with the Vikings and where they're really at coming up.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
Inheritance, romance, and investment scams continue to plague South Dakotans with high dollar amount losses. They prey on vulnerable adults and swindle consumers out of their funds. Scammers befriend the victim, making it difficult for them to see the reality of what's happening. If you have a loved one susceptible to this type of scam, sit down and talk with them about these issues before it happens to them. If you or a loved one have been scammed in this manner, please reach out to the South Dakota Office of Attorney General's Consumer Protection Division at 800-300-1986.
Mom, can we please go to Waitiki Indoor Water Park Resort?
Waitiki? What's so special about it?
Are you kidding? It's got slides, fountains, a lazy river, everything. And it's just a short drive to Rapid City. If we stay at one of the hotels, we get water park passes for free.
Wow, you really did your homework. Okay, what do you say we pack our swimsuits and hit Waitiki this weekend?
Yes, best mom ever.
Unlock your adventure at WaitikiWaterpark.com.
All month long at Spearfish Motors, you'll find a great selection of locally sourced pre-owned vehicles. A busy September means rows and rows of fresh trade-ins. Cars, trucks, and SUVs in every make and every model. They're locally driven, locally trusted, and priced below market for unbeatable savings. So before winter hits, drive home a vehicle that you can count on. Shop Spearfish GMC Cadillac today or anytime online at spearfishmotors.com.
Attention football fans. The BetMGM Sportsbook at Cadillac Jack's Gaming Resort has it all. Watch your team on massive high-definition screens while enjoying live betting. Keep some skin in the game even when the odds don't go your way. Enter Jack's Second Chance Mulligan Drawing by dropping your losing ticket for a shot at up to $200 in Cadillac cash every week. Satisfy your craving with mouth-watering Mexican cuisine from Guadalajara's or choose from 4 other food vendors, all while sipping on your favorite drinks. The BetMGM Sportsbook at Cadillac Jack's Gaming Resort. How will your game play out?
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM. Fox Sports Rapid City.
Great news. I just got the State Farm Personal Price Plan on our home and auto insurance.
You told our agent about my thing for romance novels?
No, you don't have to get that personal. Our agent just helped me choose affordable options to create a personalized price just for us.
Oh, sweet. Then you won't believe the love triangle Jen is in now.
Contact me, State Farm agent Scott Carlson, to create your personal price plan today.
Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
We're talking with Britt Wickett at Elevate Performance Physical Therapy for an Elevate Performance Health Minute. Britt, one of the injuries we hear a lot about in sports, an ACL tear. You can't prevent all injuries, but good sports performance training could help.
Yeah, Nate. One of the things that a lot of good sports performance training focuses on is trying to not only prepare athletes for the field of sport, but also try to mitigate their risk to sustain an injury. Unfortunately, things happen in sport. If anybody ever does experience an ACL tear that results in needing a surgery to fix that, it's important to have a therapist on your side who can help them through prehab, rehab, and then return to sport. It's a marathon, not a sprint. It takes a long time to get back to the field of sport, but it's not impossible to do it all by any means. So just having that end goal in mind can be really beneficial for the rehab process.
When it comes to ACLs and sports performance training and treatment, get started at elevateperformancesd.com.
This is the Nate Brown Show. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
All right, welcome back in. The Nate Brown Show is on tonight. Fox Sports Radio, South Dakota Sports Talk Show across the state. Appreciate our affiliates and glad you're here on KWSN, Fox Sports Sioux Falls, and Fox Sports Rapid City. Welcome in. Reaction Monday is on. Second hour, ready to go. The Nate Brown Show, driven by Summit Automotive Group. When it comes to pre-owned in South Dakota, start at summitauto.grp.com. Starts with the right selection first. Then experience car buying built around you all the way through to the right financing, right treatment at summitauto.grp.com. Start there. The Nate Brown Show busy in this opener. Bryan Petersen joined us tonight, South Dakota State men's basketball coach. 1 week from today, it's the opening day marathon, field of 68. College basketball starts at the Sanford Pentagon with South Dakota State, the headliner, next Monday night at the Pentagon. We had Coach Pete on tonight, talking Jacks basketball, a little high school football, a little college football, and now a Reaction Monday with our guest host, Rob Keighron. And I'm going to start right away with the Vikings, but hang on. I want a little surprise attack here for Rob Keighron. You know, I give you these bullet points. Hey, we're going to hit this, so come ready. But then I like throwing a little curveball. Like, are we done yet with this tush-push where you guys got a turnover against the Eagles? You had the turnover, and they called it dead. The refs don't know how to ref it. They're false starts. There's fumbles. There's everything. And now everybody's bailing. I see the media now saying, oh, yeah, I think it's probably done. This is probably not good. And then they were the ones that were telling all of us that whined about the tush-push to be quiet. And I'm telling you, are we finally going to end this play? You guys had a turnover yesterday.
We absolutely did, Nate. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Thibodeau absolutely grabbed the ball right out of Hurts's hand. And
I don't know how many people were actually watching the game with the audio. I certainly was, although I flick around the games. You know how I watch football all Sunday long. I happened to have the audio on right then as that play was happening. And then there was kind of this, like, a lot of conferencing between the officials. They go up to Dable, who's the Giants head coach, and he's clearly, like, beside himself, lost his mind. And they essentially announce on, like, the mic, the ref announces on the mic, well, we can't challenge this because we stopped forward progress. Well, why did you do that? Like, we've literally had, like, the last couple of years where we let the plays go, right? And they can always fix it in replay. Instead, they're not figuring out this tush-push thing. And I know there were a bunch of commentators on this morning on television, I'm sure you turned it on too, who were saying because they can't officiate it properly, let's get rid of it. Well, the NFL is a $25 billion industry. How is there not one person who represents this organization who can get up there and say, we need to figure this out? At least go up there and take some responsibility. Because forget the play yesterday, Nate. Certainly, it was a turnover. We should have had the ball. I don't know that it would have changed the game, right, but it was a tie game. But think about how many times we've watched over the last, 6, 7, 8 weeks, basically since the start of the season. And if you watch any kind of television program about football on a Monday or a Tuesday, the day after the Eagles ever play, they're going to show you a number of times where the Eagles false start and it's not called on this tush push.
Yes.
They do it over and over again, and they still can't call the play properly. How does that? There's not one person in the NFL that says we need to figure. At the very least, we need to figure it out. We acknowledge there is a problem.
No, they aren't going to acknowledge it because they just pushed it off to the teams. You know that this past year, and they said, "Oh, if the teams vote against it, we'll end it." And a bunch of them did.
Yep.
Not quite enough, but more than half. I mean, it was close to change it. So the NFL's just saying, well, it's not our deal. It's the NFL teams. They let the play happen, and now you're hosed.
Yeah, you need 24 out of 32 teams to vote against it, and I think the momentum is building that way, right? I think there's enough frustration right now that if they took the vote again at the end of this season, I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't pass, right? Because it's not as if there are a ton of other teams who are running this play and running it successfully, at least not to the degree that the Eagles do. So I think it's probably close to extinction, but forget the fact that they can't officiate it. It's not a football play to me. It's a rugby play.
No, you and I have agreed on this. We've agreed on this, that it's an unfair advantage, by the way, with 3 guys behind you. They're pushing you along. We don't allow that type of stuff. And you're going, how do we just allow this where they're false starting, the unfair advantage to the defense? And people say, well, are there injuries on it? I don't. It doesn't have to be injuries.
Yeah.
It's not a football play.
Exactly. I mean, it looks, and I've watched a lot of rugby. I lived in Europe for 5 years. It looks like a rugby scrum, right? We're kind of lining up behind one guy in the middle and just pushing the pile forward. But there's been a QB sneak in the NFL for as long as we can remember. There's a way to do this without having it done this way. And I think when you combine the fact that teams are frustrated with it and the fact that they can't officiate it correctly, I think it's probably at the very least on the endangered species list in the NFL. I'd be really surprised if they don't get over the top at the end of the season if they take a vote again.
Look at this. Me and Rob Keighron teaming up to support his New York Giants yesterday. It didn't help much, but by the way, that was a turnover. It should have been a fumble, and I hate the tush push. Listener text coming in. The refs don't want the responsibility of calling the play. The refs know it goes against them for their playoff job rankings, so they're not going to make a mistake. Yeah. But the thing is, you can't. It's hard to do. I mean, I don't know how you ref it. You can't see the false start. You really can't. They get so low, and there's so many people in there. You can't see the guard that false starts and jumps ahead. And then you can't really see, is forward progress stopped? I don't know. I can't tell, so I'm just going to blow it dead, and here the ball's loose. Yeah. So too many unknown factors and a play that you just have to kill. You think fans finally want to kill it? Because I've had this debate on this show, and I'm telling you, it's like 50-50 on this show. Some people say, guys, stop whining about it. Just stop it. And I said, you can't stop the play. That's the difference. It's about 50-50. Are fans now siding with the other teams?
I think so, because how many other teams are running it well, regularly, and successfully, right? I mean, I can't think of one that does it all the time like Philly does.
Not all the time. The Bills did it yesterday, by the way. Josh Allen a couple of times.
Yep.
And it worked well.
The
so
Bills
he's
also
tried it.
The Bills also notoriously last year in the playoffs didn't get it, right? And
correct.
so, I mean, they showed you how to fail at that play pretty miserably, to be quite honest. So, I do think, and I get fans making the point, and I think it's a valid point to say, shouldn't it be on the defense and schemes and coordinators to figure out solutions to these kind of problems? And I would disagree with them. This is not like the NFL evolving into running quarterbacks, right? Where used to always just be pocket passers.
Yep.
Now you get all these running quarterbacks. Defenses have to figure out how to spy them, have to contain them, have to be able to come up with a scheme that works. That's not this. You're trying to come up with a stop to a play that there's nothing else like it in football.
Can by the way, defense has all these disadvantages. I can't hit the quarterback high. I can't hit him low. I can't put my weight on him. Can you light up Jalen Hurts in that play? Can you have a linebacker just absolutely take his head off, or would they call that a penalty? I'm serious about that.
They should not call it a penalty.
Because he's a runner.
Exactly.
He's a runner.
But and I'm surprised that teams haven't found a way to get a guy free from the outside and just hit him really hard in the side. Because even in that play yesterday, right, Thibodeau's going for the ball, but Hurts is wildly exposed. Like, he could get hit really hard there. And how do you teach a team to stop doing this play? Hurt their quarterback, right? I mean, not on purpose, right, but just in a legal, clean play, tackle them really hard, and they get hurt. All of a sudden, I'm not going to keep exposing my quarterback to this kind of play.
I hope the tush push is finally killed. I hope. Yesterday was another bad episode against Rob Keighron's New York Giants. The Nate Brown Show on tonight. Let's get into this really quick. Vikings go down Thursday night. I did not predict that one well. I predicted my Broncos to win yesterday, and how about that? 44 points, look out. But the Vikings go down in a heap. Now Carson Wentz is down for the year. Bad shoulder injury. KOC played him that whole time. Vikings get blown out. I'll just ask you right now, and this is a great answer for you. Are they in big trouble? Are the Vikings in big trouble? It's the Lions this week. The Vikes 3-4.
They're not in big trouble. They're in massive trouble. They're in the biggest trouble you could kind of be in. They're in fourth place in their division. We don't know what McCarthy is. The guy has started 1, 2 NFL games so far. 2? Did he start a third?
Yeah.
I think only 2, right? He started 2 NFL games. We don't know what he is. You don't have a real backup. And do you know? Did you look at this?
It's fine. They got Brosmer from Minnesota. He's fine.
Who? Excuse me?
If you watch the Vikings, you know who he is.
Shall we look at the schedule? At Detroit, home for Baltimore. Lamar's coming back on Thursday night, remember.
Oh, I'm scared of the Ravens. Oh, yeah.
You're not scared of Lamar Jackson?
I'm not scared of the Ravens, no.
Okay, then home against the Bears. I get the Bears are not great, but they're a divisional rival, and they have a better record. Then you go on the road back-to-back to Green Bay and Seattle. Come back for Washington and Dallas. Come on, guys. I mean, if this is not trouble, what is trouble?
You said massive trouble.
You're the fourth best team in the division, as I predicted before the season began.
But hang on a second here. You're already you've killed them. They're
the season's
dead.
over.
So you've officially killed them. That's a beauty, because if they go out and win this week, they are right back in it, and you know it. I would say that if they lose this week, Vikings are 3-5. It's big trouble. They're not in big trouble yet.
If you lose this week, which you're going to lose in Detroit, on the road.
Okay, they're going to lose. You've got it set.
You don't think they're going to lose in Detroit?
Just give me a little time here. I'm going to evaluate the game as the week goes.
So if they win the game, certainly I would understand. 4-4, 2-0 in the division.
Game, I hope you come
they'd
back.
Still be there
next Monday.
I'll be here on Monday, and I'll eat all the crow I need to eat. But I'll whatever you want is name it. If it's just who wins the game, Detroit is going to win this game. They are a much better team. We don't even know what McCarthy is. Still, to this day, we don't know what McCarthy is. They got their butts kicked by the Chargers, who were losing to the Colts. I know the Colts are 7-1. I get it. But it's Daniel Jones. Jeez, guys. Come on, please. You're scared. The schedule for the Vikings, that is what I would say. If you told me that they had an easier schedule, where they a couple softies, where they can pad their win total and stay within the race, I would get it. But you're talking Lions, Ravens, Bears, Packers, Seahawks, Washington, Dallas before you play my lowly Giants.
All of those, well, that's a nice way to finish the year. I got Bears, I got Washington, I got Dallas, I got the Giants. That's a great way to finish the year. So the Vikings just need to hang on here. This week's critical. You can't be going 3-5. We're in some trouble.
Yeah, you're in huge. You're not going to win this game.
You said it's over. You said the season's over. You said it today.
Yes, you're the fourth best team in the division.
No, I disagree with that.
I don't understand. What did we watch on Thursday night? Did we watch it? We talk about Flores all the time. The guy. It's not like they gave up 37 points. Nate.
By the way, you know what we watched? We have injuries across the board.
Who
Defense,
doesn't?
Offense, quarterback. We got big injuries for Minnesota. So let's just not kill them yet. You've killed them, and they haven't had their players. They don't have their players.
But you play with who you have, Nate. I mean, what are we going to do? We're going to say, so wouldn't that even make my argument better? They don't have their guys, which means they're even in more trouble.
They're getting their guys back, and J.J. McCarthy, I guess, should be back because Carson's down. By the way, was that a bad look playing Carson like that? Now he's got season-ending surgery on his shoulder, and he was in pain the other night.
What does that say about McCarthy? That they were letting Wentz go out there completely injured, and they've known he's been injured since the game in London.
It says they don't want to break McCarthy, and they were okay breaking Carson. I'm sorry to tell you.
Wow.
I mean, that's what it says. McCarthy will be back. Listener text, why do you think there's no outcry from the Players Association over the Vikings coaching staff playing Wentz in pain?
Football players play in pain all the time, guys. I mean, that I don't think that they're trying to hurt the guy, right? I mean, guys go out there and they play hurt all. I mean, think about you and I grew up in the era of Brett Favre, who was hurt all the time and always find a way to play the game.
Kind of a rough deal, though, now that they announced on a Monday season-ending shoulder surgery, and you watch Wentz on Thursday, and you're like, oh boy, was he really in bad shape? It kind of sounds like he was.
Is Carson Wentz the guy who's? I mean, I would imagine if he absolutely couldn't play, he would have told someone he couldn't play, right? I mean, he knew he was going to play in pain. He was probably going to do himself more damage. But again, I have a hard time believing that there's a claim against the coaching staff or the organization that they sent a guy out there that they knew needed surgery already.
Yeah,
and
I don't
could
think
do
it was,
more damage.
I don't think it was that deep.
Sometimes you know that the guy's going to need surgery, but the doctor will tell you you're not going to do any more damage. If you can go out there and deal with the pain, go play.
I don't think it was quite that deep, but it wasn't great. And the Vikings 3-4. Here come the Lions, and your friend Rob Keighron has already said the season's over. I'm going to mark this day.
Okay, I believe they're going to lose. I will say this: you would have next Monday. You are going to have to agree with me if they lose at Detroit.
3-5. We'll see. There's still a lot of winnable games there. Green Bay winnable.
Yeah, but you got
Bears winnable.
But you got teams that are way ahead of you at that point. Detroit would be way ahead. Green Bay, San Francisco, Seattle.
Wild card's still in play. Still in play.
You're running out of spots here, Nate.
Coming right back. Let's go with this. College football coaches getting fired the last 3 weeks. James Franklin, Billy Napier, now Brian Kelly. These aren't just every day. These are big programs. Why do you think this is happening now? Mid-season coming up.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one. So you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
October is Renewal by Anderson's United Against Cancer campaign, and when Renewal offered to pay for employees' radon testing and mitigation, several Renewal team members found radon in their homes. Deb was one of them, and she always wondered how she got breast cancer. Radon causes cancer. It's linked to Parkinson's, Alzheimer's. Radon is a killer.
People don't know about radon. They don't know what a killer it is, and they don't know how cheap it is to have it tested.
From all of us at Renewal by Anderson, please get a radon test now. It could save your life.
What do you call a place that's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait, there's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps one minute and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
I didn't know anything about radon. I didn't know it's a gas you can't see or smell. I didn't know it's radioactive from decaying uranium deep underground. It can seep through cracks in your foundation and collect in your house. 1 in 15 homes have high levels, and you don't know if yours is one of them unless you have your home tested. And radon? Well, radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer in America. I wish I would have known that.
Call Blackburn Foundation Repair for radon testing and mitigation.
Coldwell Banker, Black Hills Legacy in Rapid City. With today's home values, right now could be a great time to sell your home. The Black Hills housing market is competitive, and I would love to help you get top dollar for your home. I have been selling real estate and attracting buyers in Rapid City for nearly 20 years. When it comes to buying or selling, experience matters. If you're thinking of selling your current home, let me put my expertise to work for you. Just Google David Brenneman, Coldwell Banker. List it, sell it, and move on. With me, David Brenneman, Coldwell Banker.
From high school to college to the pros, from Rapid City to Sioux Falls, the Nate Brown Show is South Dakota's sports talk show.
Well, welcome back in. The Nate Brown Show, built by Blackburn Foundation Repair. If your home's foundation isn't solid, they're telling you the whole thing can fall apart. They keep your foundation secure. You have a crawl space, they'll keep it dry, your air clean. They do it all to keep the family safe. Radon testing, it's right there, so they have mitigation system ready to go. Blackburn Foundation Repair. It is a local company right here in South Dakota since 1992. Started blackburnrepair.com. Blackburnrepair.com. It is a Reaction Monday on the Nate Brown Show. Rob Keighron's live in studio. Glad you're here on a Monday as well. So this is interesting what's happening. I just had a college football writer on in the first hour, John Brice, one of the friends of the show. And I asked John, I said, are these college football coaching firings happening so quickly? I mean, this is just last 3 weeks. James Franklin, Penn State, Billy Napier, Florida. Now Brian Kelly, LSU. We're talking massive programs, huge coaching contracts, huge buyouts, and the programs are getting rid of guys. He tells me, Rob, he's like, this isn't unprecedented. It seems like a run here the last 3 weeks, but it's not unprecedented. Look at what Texas A&M did with Jimbo Fisher, and they paid a huge deal. Charlie Weiss back in the day at Kansas. I mean, a long time ago, but he pointed out a couple of these. But Nick Saban said the money that's being paid to the players is now being more expected from the coaches to get it done now. Otherwise, they'll go to the AD and they say, you got to get this guy out of here. So Nick Saban's tying the high-profile firings with the money that's being involved, being paid to the players. I'm not so sure on that. What do you say? Brian Kelly's out. Why are college programs firing the coaches quick?
Well, I think he's right to a certain extent, Nate. I mean, the money that's being spent is coming from boosters, from alumni, right? They are contributing large sums of money, right, being sold. Let's go out and get these guys, right, and we will be competitive.
Right now, not like 3 to 4 years. Now.
Well, it has to be right now because of the transfer portal, right? Like you don't have the runway of 3 to 4 years with a player like you used to.
That's
right?
it. I think that's the difference,
right? You get a year, maybe 2, and so I have to see results right away. But why are these guys getting fired? because they're in huge programs, and they're watching, the alumni of these programs are watching teams that traditionally would be nowhere near as good and have nowhere near the amount of resources win. Think about it in the SEC, right? If you're Florida or you are LSU, you're watching Vanderbilt.
Missouri and Vanderbilt the other day.
Yeah.
Yep.
These are two teams that traditionally were bottom of the barrel SEC teams. Vanderbilt, who traditionally, historically, would have been one of the worst teams in the country.
Yes, terrible.
They're going out and winning week after week. If you don't think that has something to do with coaching, you're crazy. It absolutely has something to do with coaching, because if we look at the roster, top to bottom of Vanderbilt, and stack it up against LSU, it's not comparable. It's just not. I know they got a great quarterback, Vanderbilt. Pavio, however it says his name, I forget how to pronounce it. He's really good, right? But LSU spent a ton of money to go out and get all these guys. And think about where Kelly came from, Notre Dame. Freeman has brought his team to the playoff every single year, went to the national championship. What has Brian Kelly done?
He did that there, too. I mean, to be fair, Brian Kelly won at Notre Dame big time.
But you leave Notre Dame to go to LSU, you're expected to win. And think about this, right? Franklin, I think, is a little bit of a different case. I think they are all different cases, if I'm being entirely honest. I think LSU is the one that makes the absolute most sense, right?
Fire him? To fire him.
100%, right? Can't win big games. Think Death Valley, right? The idea of Baton Rouge on a Saturday night, SEC country, is supposed to be the toughest place to play. Got their butts kicked in the second half by A&M and Elko. And so if you're a booster at LSU and you're watching A&M, who got rid of Jimbo Fisher.
Paid him a huge amount to get rid of him.
To get Mike Elko, who's getting that team to perform week in and week out. Like, well, it's not working. What we're doing is not working. And LSU has had winners with Ed Ogeron, Les Miles, and Nick Saban. And Kelly can't even get to the playoff with a 12 teams.
But here's the thing. Everybody thinks they can beat Texas A&M. We got the quick fix. We got it. Penn State's going to think, if we just get rid of James Franklin, we're going to do what Texas A&M's doing with Elko. And I'm not buying it totally.
Well, what about, forget A&M, what about Indiana? Indiana? Penn State can't beat Indiana. I mean, come on, like, Indiana, not a traditional football school either, right? A basketball school who's doing great things with Cignetti. Franklin, say what you want about, I get they were consistent. Penn State was consistently in the mix every single year. Never won a big game. At some point, you're defined by those big games when you're in a big conference.
So you're going to spend the hundreds of millions of dollars and the dead money. It's dead money, and Brian Kelly walks out with a golden parachute, and you're okay with that.
Yes, because there's no cap, right? There's no salary cap. This is not dead money by cutting your defensive end who's making $32 million a year. This is just some alumni guy, some rich alumnus, writing a check and saying, get this problem out of my hair. I don't want to deal with him anymore.
Just some rich alumnus is going to cover that.
It is. Who do you think gave the go on this, right? Like, these things don't just happen, right? Sunday, he has all these meetings with the AD. The AD is getting, probably has a call sheet, 10 pages long from alumni, big benefactors, says, you'll either make a change or you're not getting my check this year. That's the way this is working.
No, that is true. What people don't understand is I know the buyouts are crazy, and I still think they are. I still think the buyouts are absolutely unbelievable. But the universities weigh that. The AD weighs it and says, if I don't get rid of Brian Kelly, I'm going to lose this, I think. And if I do, I'm going to have to pay this much, but I think I can get it covered. And that's the game they play. They think they're going to lose more down the road if they don't axe it now. Is axing now, is that good in a college program? So Brian Kelly, James Franklin, what has it done for Penn State? Nothing. It's done nothing other than it's just amps up the hiring process and you can get your guy, supposedly.
To me, it starts the reset process earlier. You're already having feelers out to some of these guys. Based on who makes the playoff and who doesn't, you can get someone in place pretty quickly. And because they're going to bring a lot of their players with them, you can reset pretty quickly nowadays in college football. It is not as if you're behind the eight ball now because you're not recruiting the same way that you would have done in years past. So much of the recruiting is transfer portal anyway. So I do think you kind of got to get ahead. If you know you're going to make the decision, get a head start and start figuring out who of these up-and-coming coaches is going to be your guy.
So these college football head coaching firings are not happening too quickly for you, Rob Keighron. It's not happening too quickly.
These 3 examples that you mentioned, no, absolutely not. I think these guys had their time coming to them for quite a while, and the results weren't there. So why belabor the point? You're not going to keep the guy. Did you think after these starts that any of those 3 guys were going to keep their job at the end of the season?
Well, after these big losses like James Franklin, he was in big trouble. Brian Kelly, I don't think he's gotten beat like by bad teams like Franklin did. You can't say Vanderbilt's bad. You can't say A&M's bad.
No, but you're LSU.
We act like LSU is Georgia here. They aren't. LSU's not Georgia. They're trying to be.
But wait a minute,
not.
Nate. Wait a minute. Georgia wasn't Georgia until Kirby Smart showed up. Do we remember the Mark Richt days of Georgia where they were average at best?
Here's what it comes down to. If you don't make the playoff, I'll just tell you this. If you don't make the playoff and you're Florida, LSU, Penn State, you're going to get fired. That's what you're telling me.
In 3 years, yes. I'm telling you, if I give you 3 years to make the playoff, and there are 12 teams that make the playoff, and it's likely there are going to be 4 SEC teams making the playoff or 4 Big Ten teams making the playoff, and you're not one of those, you're gone.
That's what it is. This college football expanded playoff is now getting coaches fired that they should be in that top 12, and if you're not, you're gone. You would fire Kalen DeBoer. I know it. You would fire him if he didn't make the playoff. He didn't make it last year, and people were ready to fire him this year, and now everybody says he's good all of a sudden.
Well, I wouldn't have fired him after year 1. Definitely not. I would give him 3 years.
This year?
No, I'd give him. Well, Alabama's a little bit of a different story, perennial, right? But I would give him 3 years. I'd absolutely give him 3 years.
Nobody gets 3 years anymore.
Kelly got 3.5, 4 years almost. Franklin, how long has he been there? 11 years. Napier's been there like 4 years. You get 3 or 4 years, Nate. And where are the results?
Listener text: boosters. He who has the gold makes the rules. It's the boosters who make the rules. NIL at Vandy in Indiana must be deep-pocketed as well.
Indiana, surprisingly, Indiana has a lot of NIL money.
That's what they say. I don't know where that Indiana money comes from, but...
Yeah, there are a lot of good boosters in Indiana. I don't know about Vandy, though. I think Vandy's just very well coached right now.
Let's see. I'm gonna ask this question about this college coach. I want to know where we're at here. He turns around a program. Now they go backwards. Are we ready to fire him next? Coming up.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
Are you thinking about starting or expanding a business? At Black Hills Federal Credit Union, our dedicated business lending team focuses on understanding our members' unique needs and truly wants to help them succeed. From the loans to get your business off the ground to the accounts to keep it running, we offer unique products with your business's best interest in mind. Learn more at bhfcu.com or text or call 605-718-1818. BHFCU is a member-owned, not-for-profit.
How do you make a buffet day even better? Make it a play day. The Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade is your place for good food and good times. Won the big game? Make it a play day. Aced your test? Make it a play day. Just need to get out of the house? Make it a play day. The Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade has all your favorites and all kinds of fun. So bring your family, bring your friends, bring your team. For good food and good times, make it a buffet day and a play day at the Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade.
At Dakota Discount RV, we're in it for the long haul, just like you. Whether it's cross-country adventures, weekends by the lake, or family time under the stars, we're here to keep you rolling for years to come. While others are packing up, we're doubling down with dependable service, great prices, and the biggest selection in the region. Your journey doesn't stop here, and neither do we. Here tomorrow, here for every mile ahead. Visit us in Rapid City or Somerset or online at dakotadiscountrv.com.
Being in business has its rewards as well as its challenges. It means being the first one in the door in the morning and turning off the lights when you leave at night. Your business is unique, and you need a bank that understands your needs. You deserve the best. You need a financial partner that is invested in your success. You need Pioneer Bank and Trust. Don't settle. Pioneer. Pioneer Bank and Trust. Local.
Pioneer Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Whether you run the race, make the catch, cast a line, pitch a tent, or just look good doing it, Shields Rapid City has your gear. From athletic clothing from your favorite team, cold weather gear to keep you warm, to the best camping selection this side of the Black Hills, and the most stylish and functional women's outerwear and footwear. Shields has the widest selection of the best brands in the business. So when you're ready to get out, get in the game, or get going, get to Shields. Shields, we're right there with you at Rushmore Crossing in Rapid City.
In the past, if you needed auto body repair, you had to get multiple estimates and then try to get your car into a shop for repair. Well, not anymore. In most cases, you can stop by one shop, get your estimate, and schedule your car for a repair. The question now becomes which shop you choose. If you like quality, choose J&J Truck and Auto Body. They have ASE, PPG, and Gold iCar certifications that allow them to offer you a nationwide warranty. And they'll work with your insurance company so you're pleased with the outcome. J&J Truck and Auto Body, 1513 East Philadelphia.
Ever since Barron's Wilson Funeral Home first opened their doors in Rapid City 140 years ago, they have continued to make personal service their number one priority. In your time of grief, they offer a personal touch by being at your side through every step of the funeral process. They answer difficult questions and guide you toward other professional services you may need. See for yourself the wide variety of services they can provide for you by visiting their website at barronswilson.com.
This is The Nate Brown Show, also streaming live on YouTube. Subscribe to The Nate Brown Show on YouTube.
Hey, glad you're here. South Dakota Sports Talk Show live on Fox Sports Radio across the state. The Nate Brown Show. Glad you're a part of the program. If you missed some of the show, some of the guests, we had South Dakota State men's basketball coach tonight, Bryan Petersen, live. They'll be playing at the Pentagon 1 week from tonight. Field of 68, opening day marathon college basketball at the Pentagon next Monday. Bryan Petersen, new head coach for the Jacks. He's been an assistant there with Hendo. He was on tonight. Go to the Nate Brown Show podcast. It's available wherever you get your podcast. Search for it, Apple, Spotify, Amazon. Search The Nate Brown Show, and then you've got this show on demand. It's a Reaction Monday with guest host Rob Keighron in studio. He's already said the Viking season is over. Let's see, what else? These coaches should get fired.
Yep.
You're not going to give him much time, but you're going to give Keighron DeBoer 3 years.
3 years.
He's a South Dakota guy, so you'll give him a break, which I believe I thought he was getting piled on early, and everybody said he was bad. Now Paul Feinbaum thinks he's great. But how about this coach then, Rob Keighron? What are you going to do in college football when you have a guy who comes in high profile, takes over a program that had one win? I mean, this was nothing. No ticket sales, no nothing. Now they've become a national brand, a national program. They produced NFL players and Heisman Trophy winner. And now they're getting beat up. They got smoked by Utah. They haven't looked good. They're near the bottom of the Big 12. Are you going to fire Deion Sanders now? Because you said you can't do this type of stuff. You got to be in the mix. You got to be... Boosters want big-time payback here. Coach Prime under the microscope right now. He gets smoked the other night.
No, I don't think so. I think this is a completely different kind of experience in terms of, if you look at Penn State, Florida, LSU, those are perennial big-time programs, right? They've had lots of historical success. Colorado has had none in, the last 25 years, other than the little bit of time that Deion has been with them. And he had, two big-time players, including his son, and obviously the Heisman Trophy winner that you mentioned, right, with Hunter. Well, you don't have that. I give him a year or so to reset. I worry more about Deion with how much he's into it, right? Had some health problems this year, so you can't hold that against him. But you do worry about how much he's completely into the job day in and day out, the grind that college football coaching is. But he's made you if I'm Colorado, what am I going to do better than Deion?
You should see what people in Denver, I'm telling you, I'm having them on the show. People in Denver, I'm watching a reaction of the guys I've had on the show. They got him under the microscope. They are mad right now. They say, we got blown out by Utah and all this and that. I'm going, guys, can we take it easy? They lost some players from last year. He's trying to fill it. People are not patient. You know that.
I get that, but Colorado in the Big 12 it won't take much to get them right back in the mix next year. Get a couple of big-time transfers, and all of a sudden you're relevant again. In my mind, can I do better can I make my program as relevant, make them more interesting, make them win more if I replace Deion? I don't think the answer to any of those questions is yes, because which of the up-and-coming really good coaches is going to say, where I want to go? I want to go to Boulder and replace Deion. That is a tough act to follow in and of itself, just based on his persona. Now, it's not like I have all of these tremendous resources at Colorado to really reshape my program. I don't think you're going to do much better than that. So short of him having 2 or 3 losing seasons, I don't think he's going anywhere unless he wants to go somewhere.
Really interesting. Denver media that I've been watching the last couple of weeks saying, Prime's getting paid this much, and he's got these NFL assistants, Warren Sapp and Marshall Falk, some of these, and they're doing nothing. And I'm sitting here going, I know you're paying Bryan, but the investment has been pretty good for the university, really.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, if you think about how many times that they were on national television over the last couple of years in windows where they never would have.
Never.
Nobody would have ever thought of them. Making that university front and center for the whole nation to see. Just what he's done there. You're not going to beat that. I'm sorry. There's not a coach in America who's going to do more for this particular program than Deion can.
Okay, really quickly, before we get to our last break on the Nate Brown Show and out the door on a Monday, would you start Shedeur Sanders while we're on the Prime subject? Dillon Gabriel and the Browns got worked by the Patriots. Dillon hasn't looked great last 2 out of 3 weeks. Is it time to start Shedeur? You got to think about that, don't you?
No, absolutely not.
What?
It's not even close to starting. First of all,
what?
I mean, Gabriel, I agree, was not good this past week, but it was a game in New England, and the Patriots may have been the most underrated team going into this season. First of all, Drake May is very good.
Dillon Gabriel wasn't good yesterday. He had a good week last week. He wasn't good that previous week. I mean, it's time to stop playing this game that Dillon Gabriel's an NFL QB. Can we stop playing this?
Are you the same guy, the same Nate Brown who basically chastised me for throwing coaches out on their fanny after 3 years? You want to give this guy 4 games and now he's done? Gabriel's done.
I can tell he's not an NFL guy, and you know it.
No,
you just want to go different on this. You know it. Shedeur Sanders needs a shot right now.
You criticize me when I say McCarthy is not a big-time NFL quarterback, and you say we haven't seen enough yet. You've seen enough out of Dillon Gabriel in 3 or 4 games to know he's not an NFL quarterback?
Yeah, it's not good. It's not
Who
good at all.
Who is he throwing to, Nate? Can you name any of the guys?
He's throwing to nobody because he can't see over the line, number one. That's why he's not a player, first of all.
Who are the guys, who are the playmakers that he has around him that are just these incredible guys, and he's just not getting them the ball?
Good running back. Judkins is a great running back.
Okay, who's he throwing it to? Harold Fannin Jr.? Are we kidding right now?
Let's see who's better. And Shedeur Sanders needs to start. If you're going to stick up for Stefanski playing this game, I'm not going to play Shedeur. I'm not going to play him. That's not right.
I'm not saying we shouldn't see Shedeur at some point this season. The Browns' season is lost. They're 2-6. They're not going anywhere. I have no issue if we get to the last 3 or 4 games of the season.
3 or 4 games.
And we want to see what Shedeur is. But if you think, first of all, they drafted him in front of him. Whether you like it or not, they drafted him in front of Shedeur.
Stupidly.
Okay, fine. But you got to give this guy a fair shake. I mean, I can't believe you. I can't even believe I'm looking at you right now, Nate.
3 to 4 games. He's been not
3 to 4
great.
games.
So give Shedeur a chance and see what happens.
And so when he stinks in 3 or 4 games, what do? Go back to Dillon Gabriel?
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
We're just going to keep playing musical chairs at the quarterback position because that always works in the NFL.
Coming right back. Last thing. Sports gambling scandals. How can we stop them? We only got a few minutes next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
Don't you just hate it when your kiddos get tired and want to quit trick-or-treating before you've hit all the best houses? You know, the ones that hand out full-size candy bars. This Halloween, fuel your little goblins with hearty sandwiches made on Country Hearth Kids' Choice bread before heading out. Made the old-fashioned way with whole grains and natural sweeteners, Country Hearth breads are a treat the whole family will love. And as any monster will tell you, the best nights start with a great bite. Country Hearth, baked locally and delivered fresh daily.
Text scams continue to rise, and victims who have lost money to these scams continues to increase. Consumers cannot rely on a text message to be truthful. If you receive a message regarding a fine for missing jury duty, your utilities being shut off for non-payment, toll road fines, or you've won a sweepstakes, these are scams designed with an urgency and the need to send money now. Do not respond to these texts, and you should contact Consumer Protection at 800-300-1986. That's 800-300-1986 for the South Dakota Office of Attorney General's Consumer Protection Division.
This isn't just the sound of a legendary Brunswick pool table. It's the sound of families about to make memories together. And while this may sound like the hum of a spa, listen closely, and you'll hear backyard fun for years to come. So while Splash City's guarantee of quality sure sounds good, we know quality time sounds even better.
Who wants another burger? Splash City, 1024 West Omaha, across from Connects in Rapid City.
Tin Lizzie's next grand prize giveaway is so huge, we're giving you 2 months to qualify. We've teamed up with White's Queen City Motors to give away a 2026 Chevy Equinox worth $40,000. Earn a free entry every day you card in at Tin Lizzie and get an additional entry for every 100 points you earn. Be here November 29th for your chance to be drawn as the grand prize winner of this 2026 Chevy Equinox. Take your game to the next level at Tin Lizzie Gaming Resort, located on historic Main Street in Deadwood.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Chance for showers tonight, otherwise cloudy skies expected. Lows level off around 35. Northwesterly winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Sunshine expected tomorrow. Daytime highs approaching 50. Lows dip down to about 26. Tomorrow night, clear skies. Mid-50s Wednesday and Thursday. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Right now, it's 42 degrees.
Hi, this is Dr. Dan Jensen at Physio. We want to be your trusted partner for physical therapy, athlete development, and sports rehab. As the official strength and conditioning partners for Stevens, Central, Douglas, and the Rapid City Rush, our team at Physio is building the best athletes in the Black Hills. If you have an athlete in the family, we offer long-term athlete development at affordable prices for middle and high school students. We also have the only board-certified sports PT in Rapid City. At our brand new facility, Physio is ready to help you perform at your best. One-on-one physical therapy, athlete development, and sports rehab, all at one place. Get started at bhphysio.com.
Old Man Winter is right around the corner. It's time to upgrade your ride. Shop a great selection of used trucks and sport utilities at Denny Manhole Toyota. Snow-busting 4x4s and all-wheel drives. Plus, the area's best selection of used Toyotas and Toyota Certified Pre-Owned. Get financing as low as 4.99% APR for up to 60 months on Certified Pre-Owned. Tell Old Man Winter to take a hike. See us at Denny Manhole Toyota or DennyManholeToyota.com. 1887 per 1,000 finance, regardless of down. Offers with qualified credit. Expires 11/3/25.
Live from the Anytime Auto Sales Service and Details Studio. Sales, service, and recreation. This is Fox Sports Rapid City.
All right, before we go on a Monday, Reaction Monday with Rob Keighron live in studio, thanks for being a part of the program. The Nate Brown Show is on Fox Sports Radio across the state. Big sports gambling scandal last week with Chauncey Billup alleged in a poker, I mean, this is just wild stuff. So everybody, I think, has seen that by now. I reacted to it last week. I've always said this. I have partnerships with BetMGM Sportsbook. I bet on sports. I have a great time doing it. We talk lines. We do the whole thing. I've always said, though, the player prop bets is where all of this mess starts with the allegations against Terry Rozier, and the list goes on. Can player prop bets ever be put back in the tube? Would it stop these scandals?
I think it would slow it down for sure, because this is where the players have the most control. What I think is crazy is that we're offering prop bets on Terry Rozier. I mean, no offense to Terry.
Everybody.
I mean,
it's just,
no, I wouldn't say everybody, because LeBron is not going to take money to not have 11 rebounds, right?
I know, but the assistant coach allegedly heard he was going to be out, so then he told people.
Yeah, I get it, but I can understand on some level having some player prop bets. I think it's gone completely ridiculous when we have all of these. I think the baseball one, we're not going to be able to get into this, but the baseball one that happened during the summer with the Cleveland Guardians pitchers, like they can throw the first pitch as the ball. I mean why are we betting on this? I mean, because of course he could throw a ball and then still strike the guy out. Like This stuff is where we're going down a really bad path here.
You can limit player prop bets, or you could have, and it wouldn't have really hampered sports betting. But I think the FanDuels, the DraftKings, all of these fantasy sports, and then all of the sportsbooks said we can do all of these, and that's where the integrity is starting to get questioned. Rob Keighron in tonight. Always great. Reaction Monday on The Nate Brown Show. If you can, download The Nate Brown Show podcast. It is going up right now. We'll see you back here tomorrow.
Save big on everything for your next project when you shop at Menards.